a slouch today. Live
Yes.
from a let the Garfield jokes begin. Live from a lasagna-filled favorite show called Biz Nuggets. It's Biz Nuggets.
Is
Get
it
it?
America's favorite show?
Called Biz Nuggets.
Called Biz Nuggets.
It's America's favorite Biz Nuggets. Okay,
Oh,
let me
I
move on.
get it now. It's the only Biz Nuggets.
Joined
Got
as
it.
always by Emma Garfield lurking and Monday Matt Moscardi. I'm a twice used Lipton tea bag.
At least you're not a twice used something else. That could have gone in a lot of directions.
In today's twice used Lipton tea bag, see what I did? I see how we used it
Oh,
twice.
you did it twice.
Of Nuggets called February 8th, 2022. What are we doing? We look at some trending apologies and dust off the Business Pants Apology Translator Snark Machine 6000.
I like that we upgrade every time.
Well, that was the executive bio 3000. More metaverse meta musings from our omni obsessed metamat most versi.
That's one shoehorned.
You've heard of Most Def, but we have our very own Most Meta.
I can't get away. I
All
I
right.
want to give it up. Do it.
There we go. Let's go. So we're gonna dust off our what is it called? Our Business Pants Apology
dusty
Translator
bag.
Snark Machine 6000. Here we go.
A dusty bag of bags.
I got two major sort of apologies to deal with today: Spotify and the NFL. Also Joe Rogan, but I don't really care about Joe Rogan. I mean, because really the issue here is Spotify. Joe can apologize all he wants, so we're not gonna cover Joe Rogan. Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Headline is Spotify CEO says canceling Joe Rogan is not the answer.
That what he said.
I don't know what the question is. Here we go. So there's a long apology letter he wrote to his staff, and the apology tour Snarkinator 16,000. I don't know what the hell it is. It pulls out certain phrases, and then it kind of gives us a little bit of a description. It does what it does. I can't control it, so I'm just gonna help me through this, Matt. We're gonna
What
talk
did it
this
say?
through and out.
What
Okay, here we
did
go.
it say?
First of all, we've had conversations with Joe. He chose to remove a number of episodes from Spotify. He also issued his own apology. Okay, first of all, the machine called it that's a double rainbow apology,
Ooh,
which
I like
is nice
rainbows.
because Joe's apologizing, Spotify's apologizing. But first of all, we've had conversations with Joe. We do know who's the we. We know who we is, right? It's Daniel Eck and
There's
Martin.
only two we's. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Martin.
two owners who own 80%
Yeah.
of the.
So just so we're all clear, when he says Spotify, he just means a couple of dudes, a couple of bros. One of which Matt pointed out is another one of these sort of in the bald white male pantheon of Bezos-y, Rogan-y,
It's like a prerequisite to be kind of a jerk.
So I don't know about this. He chose to remove a number of episodes from Spotify. That's the one I'm really hung on. And the machine didn't know what to do about that. What do we think about this? Like, you get to... So you have abhorrent racist behavior. You get to remove... Shouldn't you leave it up there for the... I'm confused about this. You get to just kind of hide from it?
Well,
I think
I'm
you...
actually,
Look, what do you think?
I wonder how that conversation unfolded. Was it like the two founders sit down with Joe Rogan? They get on a Zoom call and they're like, we love you, Joe. We love you. We love all the things you do.
Yeah.
But like the racism and the COVID misinformation stuff. I mean, what do you?
Awkward.
What do you think? We love you. What do we do? We love you though. What do we do? Should we do something? We love you. But
I'm
should
just
we
torn
remove
about
it?
all this. So you get to be a jerky racist live, but then all you have to do is just remove the...
Remove it
I
later.
don't know. Okay,
Let's
well,
test
moving
the
on.
theory. Say something racist. I'll leave it up.
I don't. Yeah, I'm just not comfortable. Here we go. Moving on. Here's what else I picked out. I agree with his decision to remove past episodes. Again, like Daniel's saying that this is all Joe's decision. I don't know if I buy that. I agree with his decision to remove past episodes. I do not believe that silencing Joe is the answer. Canceling voices is a slippery slope. I love when executives say things like slippery soap. Here's what the Apology Tour 6000 said. It said lots of great shows have been canceled. Judd Apatow's Freaks and Geeks only lasted one season. The sci-fi
Nice.
classic Star Trek was canceled after only 3 seasons. Claire Danes' Amazing My So-Called Life, 1 season. Aaron Sorkin's Sports Night only lasted 2 seasons. And the Maestro David Lynch's Twin Peaks only lasted 2 seasons. So where's the slippery slope? I don't understand. Why can't we cancel it?
Wait, you just showed the slippery slope. Look at all those great things that were canceled after just 1 or 2 seasons.
And then what? But then,
we
and
just
then what
slipped
happened?
our way down.
But then they went on to have great careers. I don't know. What are
We've
we
all
talking
been
about here?
robbed of these great voices.
Sure, fine. Moving on. He says we are not the publisher of Joe Rogan Experience, but perception due to our exclusive license implies otherwise.
I think the exclusive part of that license implies otherwise, doesn't it?
Yeah, the machine said he's just trying to word salad his way out of his responsibilities bag. Because I don't really get what he's talking about. Right? I mean, what is that?
So we have an exclusive license to do a thing.
It's
and
ours.
We own it all. It's our thing. It's our
but it's
exclusive
his.
thing.
But it's ours.
But we're not the publisher. We don't
maybe
do
it's his.
the thing. So somebody does the thing. I think they just need to. It's like very meta. I can't wait to get to the metaverse section of this.
Moving on. I am committing to an incremental investment of $100 million for the licensing, development, and marketing of music and audio content from historically marginalized groups. Ding, ding, ding. An Apology Tour classic, making ESG changes, throwing money at ESG changes. This is great.
I love it. This is so George Floydy of you. Like, like say a thing and then throw 6 cents at the at somebody who's begging for change. It's
Moving
great.
on. And notice that $100 million, is that the same amount they gave to Joe Rogan, or was it less? I don't even remember. How much
$100 million was the estimate for how much they gave to Joe Rogan.
So
but
that's they're troll. So it's a troll.
Incremental. This is incremental investment. Incremental.
The machine called that a big fat troll. Here we go. Moving on. Daniel says, this is Daniel Eck, CEO, founder of Spotify. This is his apology letter to his staff. He says, our mission of unlocking the potential of human creativity. The machine says, whatever the F that means, can we cancel companies for creepy missions?
Ooh.
What is that mission?
No, that mission's okay. I've heard
You
worse
like that?
missions. I've heard
I'm
worse.
creeped out
I'll
by
just
it.
say this way. I've heard worse missions, is all I'm saying.
Okay, but an app's going to unlock my human creativity? I don't even, what is that? Is it going to mean it's going to grab me by the balls or something? What does that mean? I don't understand.
No, it didn't say
sorry.
it would grind
Sorry.
your
I didn't mean to say
human
that out loud.
productivity into the ground. No.
All right, moving on. Daniel says, I've spent this time having lots of conversations with people inside and outside of Spotify. Ding, 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 ding. Another Apology Tour Classic Part 2, having conversations.
Wow, I love that too.
Love
Where everybody's
conversations.
listening. If you're not listening, you're not doing. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, is there? This does make me think there's basically one giant binder that you get sent when you hit a corporation of certain size that has all the things you do when you're apologizing.
Well, wait
it's
for it.
one
There's
binder,
2 more coming
right?
up. Yeah, and it also makes me think that there's a lot of silence before companies screw up. Like, before they have to apologize, there are no conversations.
That's because they're calling the other corporation and asking for the binder. I think they actually have to FedEx the binder from one place to another, and everybody just gets it and they just hand it around. Maybe there's only one copy.
Moving on. Speaking of that binder, I've asked our teams to expand the number of outside experts. Ding, 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 ding. Another Apology Tour Classic Part 3. Throw money at outside experts.
When they say outside experts, do they mean everyone who knows everything about COVID vaccines already? They're just
Or just non-racist people who are not named Joe Rogan? I don't know. It could be anybody. I don't know.
Oh, that's the way that works. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot.
This
There's
is great.
racism and the COVID thing. It's confusing
Yeah,
how they
you
kind of
guys-
both go together.
There's a lot going on.
Moving on, he says, we have a clear opportunity to learn and grow together from this challenge, and I am ready to meet it head on. Ding, 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 ding. Another Apology Tour Classic Part 4. The opportunity born from our suckiness.
And wait for it. This is prediction number 1. In 3 years, Daniel Eck can say, because of all of the learnings that we have, we're in the best position to do more racist-y things.
Great, Daniel. And finally, he signs off the letter Daniel, and the Business Pants Apology Tour Snarkinator 17,000 simply says, "Where's Martin?"
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. Why does Martin get the? He knows that Martin gets to hide. Martin is literally half the company. Is part of every decision of everything. Why does he? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no,
That's it.
isn't Martin the Sergey Brin to the Larry Page? Like he's the guy who like no one ever knows is there.
Okay, but why can't he apologize with Daniel? Why can't they write this letter together?
Maybe his writing hands hurt.
All right,
look,
that's it.
I don't want to talk about Joe Rogan anymore. I really don't care.
Good, I'm done.
Instead, I want to talk about something that we really should care about, because I'm going to welcome you to our Metaverse Accountability Minute. It's going to go longer than a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say.
In this segment, I'm going to detail headlines where the purveyors of a fake world are held to account in this very real, much realer real world. Are you ready for the headlines?
Never.
Number one, never. The metaverse cannot escape UK online rules, says expert. Here's a quote from some academics behind a new UK online safety bill. Quote, technology companies can't use the metaverse to escape regulation. That was what they said. I just said, what?
Okay.
I mean, why does the UK think a handful of dual-class fake public companies that includes Facebook and Unity Software alongside anti-competitive, antitrust breakers, Microsoft and Qualcomm, won't somehow hold themselves to account? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
What is the UK thinking? Isn't this just nanny state? This is just nanny state.
I was going to ask you about this. Is this the opportunity? Okay, so big tech is kind of awkwardly begs to be regulated, right? Because they can't figure out how to do it themselves.
Yeah, they do.
And ultimately, they don't want to be sued out of existence, so they kind of push the buck back to regulators. I was going to ask you, is the metaverse the opportunity for regulators or the government to actually come up with some like guideposts, some fences, or are we still, the problem is that we're still run by 7-year-old white men who don't understand what the interweb is? Like, where are we here?
Well, first of all, I think all anybody really wants out of the metaverse is just a nice fake place where we can dox each other and grope each other and gamble in peace from regulators.
So porn and money. Yeah.
But I do think that if you're hoping to regulate a place where nothing is real, including, and this gets into the next story, the people who run the metaverse, because the metaverse is not a real place. It's like a decentralized, autonomous vehicle of like concepts. I don't know that we're going to do a good job of it. So it's just going to be fascinating, because here's number two.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for number two?
Always.
A metaverse casino in Decentraland has made $7.5 million in 3 months.
I mean, just the headline alone is fun.
You heard that right. And not a single Native American profited. Don't worry.
Oh.
There were no indigenous peoples made $1 out of this. In case you're wondering whether it's legal for a fake online world to offer real gambling, and you're presumably asking because you think that the metaverse is legal and isn't just gambling in and of itself, I did a dive into Decentraland's quote-unquote governance, looking for the answer to that question. Decentraland, if you haven't been there, it's decentraland.org. You can make an avatar in which already there are like all sorts of issues like, systemic bias issues with the avatars. It was the brainchild of Ari Melik and Esteban Ordano, two Argentinians. It is not a company. Yeah. It is Decentraland is not a company.
Well, yeah, Decentraland. How dare they be? They couldn't be a company.
If you click on the governance section of the website, you actually have to get a crypto wallet, like because it's like the governance of the crypto awkward. Of something.
Okay.
There is something called the Foundation, not
creepy.
Just quote unquote the Foundation. It oversees something. There are advisors to Decentraland. I'm not sure who they advise, because they're even the employees of Decentraland on LinkedIn are not employees of Decentraland. A lot of them just say that they are advisors to Decentraland or settlers of Decentraland. That's a thing. One of the advisors is the ex-CEO of Zynga, who made the game Farmville. Apparently, they're asking that guy for advice. There are Mana tokens. There's a DAO, a decentralized, like, autonomous voting thing. There's a security advisory board that is, quote... Okay, this is what I found. It is, quote... This is a quote.
Yeah.
Another multi-sig with trusted key holders that was voted in place by the community.
Okay.
There are no names.
Yeah.
There's no nothing.
Is this the future of all corporations, I'm wondering?
It's settled. It's all above board.
Yeah.
See, I found the central problem with Decentraland, and it's zoning. If we're going to have meta mortgages and we're going to have meta land and meta parcels and meta ownership and everything, where's the meta zoning laws? In the real world, when you build a casino, you need, the taxes to go fund Gamblers Anonymous hotlines so real humans don't like commit suicide and go bankrupt. You need some social good to come out of this, because we all have to vote on whether or not there should be a casino in a place. Because that's why their Native Americans are allowed to in this country have casinos, because we stole all their land. So that's how we pay them back over, years and years.
It's a good point. It's sort of the OG version of the ESG apology, where you mess something up, so you give something back, right?
Right. Exactly.
So maybe we need to rephrase this as we're going to regulate you because big tech screwed up, and you're going to give something back because I don't know. I'm
waiting for the UK to give them meta zoning laws, so that, when you meta grope, meta waitress, and your meta casino, you can, we have someone to hold accountable for something somewhere. And speaking of groping, let's go to number 3.
Yeah.
Meta, this is Facebook Meta. Facebook counters metaverse gropers with a 4-foot safety bubble.
This is real.
That's a real headline.
Yeah.
How does one create a 4-foot safety bubble from news involving Mark Zuckerberg's fake public company? Can we all have a 4-foot safety bubble?
I'll take 14, yeah.
And speaking of fake public companies, I don't even want to dwell on that headline. If you don't know what that is, it's just depressing. The last headline is Inside Google Labs, the search giant's big bet on AR and Web 3. Google finally gets into the space race for Meta, AR, Web3, NFT, verse, whatever.
Sure.
Another week, another big bet by white men with unfettered power to build a fake world to live free of realities of this world. When I read this headline, here was my reaction. You have to admire Uncle Jeff Space Dildo and Elon Rocket Balls Musk at this point. They are not trying to escape this reality into a fake reality. They're trying to go to a different world entirely. There's something noble about not saying that the real world isn't good enough. In summary, go buy Google, Facebook, and Microsoft stock, because the metaverse is coming for us all, and you should make some money off of it.
You made me realize that, are we that far from the alt-right or the right championing the metaverse? Because it's everyone who got canceled was sort of forced to move to the metaverse. Is that what it's going to symbolize eventually?
They won't be able to find you there. That's the best part. I can't.
Yeah.
You try to find something in the metaverse. I can't find who runs Decentraland, but someone's programming something somewhere.
Yeah.
It's sitting on a server somewhere. It's probably just AWS server it's on, but you can't find anything about anything. So
once again, I'm going to share with the audience how this makes me feel. Once again. I usually glaze over for most of the reporting on the metaverse until I start to actually think about what Matt's talking about, and then I start to get frightened.
Yes, desperately frightened.
Because it is coming down the pike. Even if we don't no matter what we think, it's coming. Right.
And you can be sure the thing that's coming, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, male to female, that likes the metaverse. It's a mostly white male world still.
All right. Let's wrap up the show with another turn of the business pants apology tour snarkernator translator 17 million. Here we go. This time the NFL. So on Saturday morning, great place to release important news, right? Saturday morning.
It's where all the good news comes out.
Commissioner Roger Goodell of the NFL, he put out a memo was released. And speaking of like edging towards the metaverse, I'm noticing that a lot of important statements in meadows they're kind of embedded into Twitter posts now, like as like JPEGs, or I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
like the only
75
place it
images.
officially exists, like, which is strange to me. But hey, so we ran his apology through the machine, and here's what it turned out. First, it points out, he said, we have made significant efforts to promote diversity. However, we must acknowledge that particularly with respect to head coaches, the results have been unacceptable. We are retaining outside experts. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
That's part 3 of the Apology Tour Classic. Throw money at outside experts. But I will say, along with this next one, that Roger's kind of owning up to something there. I feel like. No, am I wrong?
I'm not sure he could. What was he going to say? What was his other option? You can count the number of black head coaches. It's really difficult to be like, no, we do a good job on diversity.
We'll get to this. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what his other option was because he did it last week. Here, let's move on. The next one, we understand the concerns expressed by Coach Flores and others. We said last week that racial bias claims are without merit, but popular opinion has proved that denial to be unacceptable. So here's another Apology Tour Classic Part 5. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh. Ooh.
Cleaning up after non-apologizing too soon without acknowledging the failed early non-apology. So remember, they said immediately after this case was dropped that it was without merit.
Yeah,
but
like 4
clearly,
seconds.
Popular opinion has swayed Roger Goodell to say otherwise. And you have pointed out many times that there is a sort of an odd relationship here between a group of 30 owners and the commissioner who's hired by the owners. Goodell does not mention the owners in any of this letter, but clearly there's a dichotomy here that is, I'm guessing Roger's uncomfortable with. I mean, I think he is basically saying the owners suck, but what can he do about it? I don't know.
I mean, he did have an owner like not that long ago, like spewing N-words, and Bob McNair, right? Like, I mean, I think that there's been a lot of things I think there's probably a lot of things that get said in the owner's room that Goodell knows about, but has to craft a letter about diversity and promoting diversity. I also think he just got a hold of the apology tour FedEx. I mean, I think that's why the first one was baseless and without merit, and this one is way more.
Maybe I'm just kissing his ass
crafted.
because I'm probably just kissing his ass because his summer house is like 5 miles from my house. All right. Finally, he says, there is much work to do, and we will embrace this moment and seize the opportunity to become a stronger, more inclusive league. Another Apology Tour Classic Part 4. Ding, 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 ding. The opportunity born from our suckiness. All right. Before we wrap up the show, I wanted to point out, here's the progress. Here's the ESG data of this situation. So there were 9 openings, basically 9 CEO openings at NFL teams this year. Before this dropped, we had 7 of them already filled by white dudes.
Oh, thank God.
But since one white dude with no experience seems to be not being considered for a job in Houston, and now they're saying that they might go to Lovie Smith, who's a black man. And then the NFL put out a memo a couple days ago about a new hire in Miami who they're calling multiracial.
Oh.
Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange case. I don't want to get into it too much because it's just going to cause for uncomfortable conversation. But his name is Mike McDaniel. He is being hired in Miami. He looks whiter than anyone.
Not white?
I mean, he just looks like the most... He went to Yale. He's a big nerd. He just looks like the whitest nerd ever. But the NFL is pointing out he's multiracial. What they don't point out is that his father is black. I don't know why they couldn't say that, but the NFL is a weird place, and so that's what's happened since the lawsuit.
Here's the question I have for
yeah.
you to wrap us
Go ahead.
out.
Please.
There were 7. You said there were 7 openings, and
There were
5
9 total
filled.
openings.
9 openings and 7 were
7 have
filled.
already been filled by white dudes before the lawsuit. Yeah.
So the Giants, the Bears, the Broncos, the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Vikings, all filled with white guys.
Okay.
The Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints are the only ones left who haven't filled jobs. Do you think they're kicking themselves for going a little bit slower because now they basically have to hire black people?
Yeah, despite there's been an overwhelming amount of evidence of some of the great black coaches who don't have a job. So, unfortunately, Matt, they probably are kicking themselves, even though there are viable candidates right there in front of you, like Brian Flores, for instance.
But you have to imagine that like the Houston Texans are like, fuck, we really liked another white guy, but now we definitely can't hire them.
Well, and that is absolutely true, because Houston was aligned with this backup quarterback named Josh McCown, who's never done anything, has no experience. I think that his only experience is coaching a high school team somewhere, which is not tantamount to the ability to coach an NFL team. Notwithstanding the fact, Matt, that New Orleans and Houston are probably two of our the proudest black cities in America, right? I mean, rich traditions of black history, like cities that you would think would look to a black candidate to lead anything, really. I mean, just to be fair.
No.
Okay.
Come on, get real. That was Damian Morales, and Emma is in the ether. I believe she's in the metaverse in a 4-foot bubble right now. I am Matt Moscardi. We are Free Float Media. This was Business Pants. If you like this, we're actually lining up another fancy expert for this week to play the good game with us. More fancy experts. Every week, a fancy expert to tell us how stupid we are. If you want to be a fancy expert, let us know on social.
Yeah, reach out to us.
You can call us 872-FLOAT-72.
And by the way,
leave us a voicemail, whatever you want.
And by the way, Mayor of Houston, black man. Mayor of New Orleans, black woman. Just saying, Matt. Just saying.
Those are interesting statistics that have no relevance when it comes to picking an NFL coach, apparently.
ESG anecdotes.
We'll be back at you tomorrow with more Business Pants. Goodbye.